What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another installment of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Hey, as you guys know, if you've tuned in or if you haven't, we always start the show out with the word of the day. So basically, the way this works, I'm going to say a word I'm going to say a word I have no idea what it is. Every time Lawrence posts that word up here tonight, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. As I always say every week, age appropriate as well. If you're under the age of 21, get your Monster, get your Kool-Aid, get your sweet tea, man. Give it hell on a school night. Get jacked up if your parents are watching. Play along, man. So there again, last week's word of the day was helmet. I don't know how many times I said it. I know I went on a little rant there. Yeah, probably quite a few about Kevin Harvick wanting to beat his own helmet up. I don't know what's wrong with him, man. Helmet ain't got no feelings. If you were that mad, man, should have went ahead and duked it out with the man you were mad at. But anyways, I wouldn't take it out on my helmet, but that's just me saying. But at the end of the day, tonight's word of the day is going to be, I have no idea, but every time I say that word, make sure you take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. Moving right along into some NASCAR news, y'all. Like I said, hey, no surprise. First round of 12 right there at Las Vegas. Denny Hamlin rolls the dice, comes home with the win, man. I tell you what a great strategy, great race for the 11 car. Man, I tell you, it seems like he's on a roll. We got some more to talk about him in just a little bit. But like I said, hey, man, hottest news, boom. Denny Hamlin comes home with that win. All right. Kevin Harvick and the 4-car crew chief suspended, man. So Rodney Childers going to slide out this week, lug nut violation. You got Greg Zipadelli, man. You got Zippy filling in for him. So we'll see what kind of chemistry they have. Don't know when the last time Zipadelli crew chief, but I'm sure the game's changed. And I tell you what, man, couldn't happen to a nicer guy out there than Kevin Harvick. And the way I'm feeling right now, you know, karma's a bee, brother. Karma's a bee. That's what they got to say, man. So, hey, there again at Vegas, Joey Gase had a really hard hit, man. Ended up getting transported to a local hospital, released the next day or that night. Great news, man. Thank God for safety and the advancement we've made in the sport, because honestly, man, he whacked it pretty good. If you hadn't had a chance, go on, check out video of the wreck and the stills. I mean, all 4 tires come off of the ground hitting that wall. It's pretty interesting to watch, but if you hadn't seen that yet, definitely check it out, man. Another big piece of news, which I think is one of the greatest news that have come out right here. You know, Kurt Busch, man, inspired by a young fan in support of his own mother battling breast cancer right now. So he's gonna have a pink window net. I don't know if it started last week or these weeks coming up, but I tell you what, definitely we're getting into that month of October. You guys know how we do up here at Coaches with the TP. Usually it's set up for breast cancer awareness. We'll have to see what charity we're doing it for this year, but we know October is that time, man. So there again, if you know a breast cancer survivor, make sure you give them a big hug, tell them you love them, and you know, continue that good fight, man. But hey, like I said, what a great move by Kurt Busch. And a piece of advice I'll give is that younger brother could take a lot of notes from you, brother, a lot of notes. And leading us into the next biggest part of news right here this week, man, and it's really got to do with the same guy and Kurt Busch and what he's going to be doing next year. There's news. Star Racing sold their charter, that 00. Somebody's picked it up, Trackhouse. Long story short, we all know that Kurt Busch is slated to drive that 45 car for the second car of the 2311 team. Gonna be interesting to see if he ends up with a charter or not there. Now, you know, a charter pretty much guarantees you entry to every race regardless, you know, if you qualify when we qualified or not. Which hopefully they bring back qualifying next year. My opinion, I think an hour and a half, one single hour and a half long practice, single car qualifying would do the sport great. It is something that adds to the, you know, the great environment that NASCAR sets. You get to see who goes out there and has speed and who sets that car up good for qualifying and the race. So I think it's something they could take some notes on. But there again, if they don't end up with qualifying next year, Kurt Busch is going to have come out and have really good runs every week to be guaranteed that spot without that charter. So we'll see what NASCAR does. We'll see maybe a 2311 knows a little something that we don't and bringing that qualifying back. But if they do, they do. And if they don't, man, it's going to be a lot of work for Kurt Busch. But, hey, that's the biggest piece of news out there right now, man. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As I always say, if you're new to tuning in and you hadn't went out, please like, share, follow all our social media, man. You can catch us on the gram, Facebook. Definitely go on YouTube. Check out our channel, Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Subscribe, like, share, follow, all that good stuff, man. Like I said, the more followers we get, more outreach we get, more money we get to raise up here, because ultimately it's about talking NASCAR and raising money for charities, man. So more followers we get, more eyes we get on it, more money we get raised, and that's thanks to you guys out there. So definitely go out, check it out, like, share, follow, y'all. So we're going to do this early tonight. Please pause for station identification right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. I got to get a cold sip, man. It's been a day right here. All right, man, moving right along into the point standings. First race of the round of 12. It's in the books, man. This is what the playoffs are looking like. So right now, Denny Hamlin takes over that lead. Got the 11 in first. Kyle Larson, the 5, comes second. Candyman himself, Kyle Busch, in third. Fourth is going to be Martin Truex Jr. 5, you got Ryan Blaney. 6 comes the main man, my man, Chase Elliott. 7, you got Joey Logano. 8, Brad Keselowski. 9 is going to be William Byron. 10 is the 4. You got the 11 of the 48, and the 12 is going to be the 20. So right now you got William Byron, Kevin Harvick, Alex Bowman, and Christopher Bell outside looking in. I'm pretty sure Keselowski's got about a 4-point lead right there on Byron. Everybody's still touchable in this. Now, we're moving into Talladega this week. As we all know as NASCAR fans, or even a new guy, if you haven't seen Talladega, it is a crapshoot, man. It's a wild card. Anybody can go out and win. Guy up front can mess up, take out the guy in 23rd. So anything can happen. This is not the place where you want to come in behind that cut line. But there again, we'll have to see what these guys do. Who puts themselves ahead, who puts themselves behind. But the last thing you really want to do is come into this race really needing to win. And right now, Christopher Bell is the guy that I really foresee needing that win. You know, there are some positions. You got 12 guys in it. Pretty much 9 out of 10 weeks, these 12 guys are going to be at least 12 out of the top 15, barring any kind of speeding penalties, pit road mistakes, mechanical malfunctions, and or race accidents. But at the end of the day, it's going to be hard to make these points up, so we got to keep an eye on that, man. Like I said, I mean, you know, coming into these points, they're going to be shaken up when we leave Talladega, guaranteed. I do not see all 12 of these guys making all, 500 miles of this race. That's just something I've noticed over the years past of watching the sport. We'll have to see if they do. If they do, it could possibly be a first, who knows? But we have to keep an eye on it, man. So moving right along into my favorite part of the show, checkered flag for charity, man. I hadn't dropped a swear word, so we'll just go ahead and say shit. Right now, we'll get that swear bucket up. Boom. As you guys know, every time I say a swear word on the show, we'll throw $1 into the swear bucket. But like I said, brings in a checkered flag for charity, man. So there again, this year we've chose to help save one of our own right here. Local organization does a lot of good things for the community. Families, all stays local right here, man. They've helped us up here with Randy Palooza, helped us with Becca Bash. So many things they contribute to and are a part of that we do up here at Coach's Corner for charity work or raising money for good causes here in our local community. So as I say all the time, man, doesn't matter, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever you guys got next time you're in Coach's Corner, having cold beers after work, grabbing a bite to eat with the fam. Tell your waitress, waiter, all you want to do is round it up to the nearest dollar amount, throw $5 on it, into checkered flag for charity. All goes to help save one of our own. Hey, like I say, if you see John and Adele Henderson walking around in here, man, stop them. You want to make a donation, they'll make sure it gets to the right place with the right people. And as I always say, none of that is possible without you guys out there. Local community, the patrons here at Coach's Corner, everybody does such a great job tuning in, making sure that they make their donations, get the feel good for the day, and help the great causes that we do here at Coach's, man. And as we all know, them Braves right now are chopping it up, baby. We need to go ahead and get these 2 wins right here against these Phillies, shut it down, log ourselves in. That happens, guaranteed, more than likely you're probably going to see the TP set up here. News to come on that. We just got to see what happens. So everybody put your Braves gear on tonight, get to chopping it, baby, because it's time, man. So brings us in basically in that, help save one of our own. What we do here on the Rubbin' and Grubbin' crew, whatever car number wins that race, we donate that into the checkered flag for charity fund, our swear bucket. Hey, man, like I said, the 11 of Denny Hamlin won last week. 11's never good enough. Anything under the 20 car of Christopher Bell, we're always going to donate 20. So there's a nice, crisp, cool 20 going into that bucket. So let me check my notes. That right here brings our show, man, to $3,616. And also a big thanks and shout out to Andrew Gill and Jim Stillman for last week and the donations they made here for us on Rubbin' and Grubbin' and at Coach's. I really hope they had a great turnout over there for that Ailey Pirates poker run there at the Shrine, man. Those guys are some great guys. Like I said, know quite a few of them for a very long time in my life. They do some amazing things there, man. So anything they're involved in, definitely going to plug it here at Coach's Corner. Definitely on Rubbin' and Grubbin', but I really hope those guys had a great turnout, man. So moving right along into my second favorite part, man, the who's hot and who's not. And I tell you, the who's not list tonight, it's either going to make some people really happy or it's going to make some people really mad. But either way, I really don't give a damn. Another dollar in there. I'm going to tell you just how it is and how I feel about it and my eyes on the sport, and that's just what we're going to do, man. So we're going to start it off, as always, with the who's not. There's a new king on top of the mountain right now, man, and that's going to be the 11 car of Denny Hamlin, man. Takes over that top spot on the who's hot. Man, has won the first race in both rounds. So won at Darlington there for the round of 16, opens up with Vegas, wins at Vegas. I tell you what, we waited all season long to figure out when this guy was going to come out and get that win. 7 wins last year. Seemed like he was up front contending every single week. Not so much this week, kind of quietly, very consistent. Stage wins, put himself in a great position, and right now, I tell you what, he's tearing it up, man. 2 wins out of the last 6 races. So last 4 races, excuse me. 2 wins out of the last 4 races, man. So right now he's batting 500, man, 50-50 shot at winning a race. Don't see it getting any better than that. As we know, Kyle Larson's been the man all year. I still think it's going to come down to a few guys right here at the end. But for right now, Denny Hamlin takes it, and we'll see if they can keep the momentum in that 11 team rolling and see what they do moving forward. So there again, second on the list, I just mentioned him, man. Kyle the Martian Larson, as I like to call him, because the man's out of this world. That talent's out of this world, bro. He ain't from Earth, I promise you that. But at the end of the day, man, showing a lot of strength, opened up, starting from the pole, led a majority of the beginning parts of that race, showed a lot of dominance, made a mistake, missed pit road on a lap, come back in, wrong pit strategy, I guess, at Hendrick all the way around, which we'll get to that in a little bit. But at the end of the day, man, fights back, 10th place finish. Hey, like I said, I think things playing a little bit different. Didn't make the mistake entering pit road and missed pit road. We could be talking about the 5 as easy as we talk about the 11. So there again, I think the speed is still there. Just got to get the precision of functioning every week, making sure we hit our marks, making sure our team runs good, no mistakes, man, clean races. Last week that was kind of his downfall. So I expect a rebound here coming up into Talladega. Not so much a restrictor plate racer in a way. We all know that. The man likes to handle the car and drive the car. This is kind of put the car in positions and hold on. But, hey, hopefully comes out with a really good finish here. But there again, watch out for the 5 again. I think he's a car to be on notice for every single week, man. Now, I can't let the hot list go without putting my boy on it, Mr. Chase Elliott, man. Another really solid run there at Vegas. Comes back to finish second. I actually had him in the game of skill we do here at Coaches. So you can believe the last 10 laps, I was not sitting down. I was yelling. I had a few cold beers in me. I really thought my boy was coming back to get him, man. Now, I don't know how much of that was Hamlin kind of saving the tires, saving the car a little bit, but I tell you what, those last 5 laps were very interesting. Elliot was coming. I needed 5 more, man. Just get to the bumper. That's all I needed. Came up a little short, but I tell you what, another guy out of that Hendrick camp, man, that is just showing great speed week in and week out. Whether it be a pit road speeding penalty, whether it be pre-race inspection failure, whether it be whatever, a mistake made. This guy seems in the last few races to fall to the back and come right back to the front. So I'm waiting on that one really clean race, right strategy call, which they kind of missed again as a whole for teams this week. But I tell you what, I think they get it right. Hold your head high, 9 fans, Elliott fans, hold your head high. We're going to get some more wins before this season's out. At least one more. I see 2 I got circled on the schedule. I think the man's going to go out and win. But at least one more win before the season's over, man. So hold your head high. Don't let them get you down, man. Now, bringing us to the last mark on this Who's Hot list, I can't go without notice saying JGR right now is kind of taking over that whole team organization of heating up and being hot. We talked about Hendrick week in and week out, and Kyle Larson's domination, Chase Elliott winning races, Bowman winning 3, Byron getting that win. Just how consistent these guys are. We kind of saw it early at Vegas, 1, 2, 3, 4 at one time, kind of faded due to that pit strategy. But I tell you what, JGR right now is heating up. You had Denny Hamlin winning the race. You had Kyle Busch finishing 3rd. All these guys brought home really strong runs there at Vegas. So I tell you what, man, got to be on notice. I don't necessarily think they've caught up to Rick Hendrick. I think that Hendrick Motorsports is still the place to be. Still got the dominant run, especially when you look at maybe not so much this round, but the next round and that cutoff race there at Phoenix. I feel like Hendrick's got it mapped out, got it lined up. We'll have to see if these guys can compete. But got to give a big shout out right there to JGR and what they're putting together here in the playoffs. Those guys are running really strong, man, so be on notice of them as well. So before we get into this who's hot, definitely got to take a couple sips of cold beer, man. So if you guys don't mind, please pause for station identification again right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. I got to get some sips in because we're getting ready to go in on quite a few folks right here. So cheers to everybody tonight. All right. So the first guy that's going to make this who's not list, I'm telling you right now, it is the king in my eyes of the who not. There's only two of them out there, and we're going to go ahead and call it out. It's the 4-car of Mr. Happy Kevin Harvick. So after going for broke there at Bristol, you know, get into the altercation with Chase Elliott, they kind of go back and forth. You know, you kind of think things are all lined out, going to the holler, talk about it, this and that. Stuff I've been reading on the news. One had some tension going into Vegas still. Harvick just seems to have a problem of letting things go, right? So quoted as saying, talking to Chase Elliott is like talking to a 9-year-old, right? Talking to his son, Keelan. Man, I'm going to tell you like this, man. With Rodney Childers out, coming into Talladega, and Zipadelli filling in, man, you are pretty much living on a prayer right here, brother. He doesn't need a must-win here coming into the Roval, but I tell you what, if you keep running your mouth, you keep in and up like that, brother, you're going to end up in the fence one way or another, man. You want to talk about how he raced you or how you race people and Chase Elliott side drafting everybody during these 1.5 miles and these different races and coming so close door to door, and when somebody gets up into you, oh, it's, you know, it's your own fault for being that close. Unfortunately, where the sport is headed and the way that this car is set up, side drafting is everything, man. That is how you kill momentum on the inside or the outside lane. That's just part of racing. So if you're not hip to it, you better get hip to it and tighten it up, brother, because I tell you what, you know, funny how everything Harvick says, he doesn't listen to it, and he gets hung up on it, you know, in a way. That's what he's saying about Elliott. But at the end of the day, dude, where's the mention of, you know, what you did whenever Larson got past you and you got him sideways on a front stretch twice to try to save that race win, right? There's nothing even being talked about that. Nobody says anything about that move, right? But yet you want to sit here and compare a grown man, a champion in the sport, that hit the championship way younger than you did. You got the nerve to sit here and say it's like talking to a 9-year-old, man. I'm going to tell you like this, brother. You might as well just zip it up, go out and do your job, because you hadn't been a factor all year. While this man's out winning races, you're out here finishing in the back, running 13th, 14th, 15th, man. I'm going to tell you, I see the writing on the wall. Rodney Childers getting ready to leave your ass anyways. You might as well chalk it up. You're on the downward slope. My man's still climbing, man. Just keep his name out your mouth, man. Tighten it up and go racing, brother. That's all there is to it, man. And you should probably, you know, learn a little something from the 9 car, because evidently he's teaching you how to run these new cars, and your old ass just can't get it together, brother. So, hey, don't be talking stuff about my man like that. That's how I feel. I'm going to get off Kevin Harvick. We'll see what he does here coming into Talladega. But at the end of the day, I ain't got nothing for Happy, man. He can go on with it, man. Now, this is going to bring me in to somebody kind of lull before the storm, because that was a little, you know, rained a little hard right there. We're going to calm it down. We're going to give us a little break like the eye of the hurricane right here, man. Thank you. I need more swear dollars tonight, evidently. So, Hendrick Motorsports consistency, man. That's going to be the next thing on the who's not, right? We talked about it throughout the whole season. These guys were coming out running good week in and week out, a majority, at least 3 out of the 4 cars. Most of the time, 4 cars, man. I tell you, in the past few weeks, it's been hit and miss, whether it's the 9 and the 5 making mistakes, or whether it's the 48 and 24 just not coming with strong equipment, or there again, bad things pre-race, bad things during the race. So they got to kind of get it back together. I kind of give them a bye during the first round of the playoff. A couple tracks on there that are known not for Chevrolet. But here we are getting into a better round for them. I think they have a couple really good restrictor plate racers. I think that the 1.5 mile program at Hendrick's been strong all year. And then we end up winding that out right there at Roval, which we all know, 1, Larson, and 2, Chase Elliott's at the top of that list for guys winning road course races. So I think they're going to have a strong showing there. Like I said, they just got to get it together, man. That strategy strategy this past week really cost all of them. They decided not to come in and pit at a certain time. Everybody else did. Really hurt them as the race went on. So there again, I think when it comes to Kyle Larson, the only way you're really going to outperform them 9 times out of 10 is for something like this to happen. Outplay them, outsmart them on strategy, do something a little different than what they do and still stay in contact with the up front. But I tell you what, right now, Hendrick's got to get it together, man. We got to get it together because JGR and those Toyotas right now are running amok on us, man. We got to get those Chevrolets packed back tight. So last but not least, this moves us right into my favorite part, and it would not be rubbing and grubbing for the last month if I do not give this guy a little bit of stuff, and that's going to be KFB. And I'm going to take a sip of beer before we get any further in this because I'm telling you right now, I'm not happy with him at all. So this doesn't even have anything to do with the performance on the racetrack, right? Like, went out and got a third place finish, ran a pretty good race. Pretty smart race for him there. But what I do have issues with is there again, and it's not for the public's ears, but unfortunately in today's age and era when we have all this technology and scanners and this and that and a million different media outlets listen to it, your words are going to get quoted. So if you watch the race Sunday at Vegas, had some issues, got into the wall racing a teammate or racing a car hard earlier, did a little bit of damage. As the laps are winding down, here comes quote unquote KFB. There again, like I said, not for the way he raced, great third place finish at his home track there at Vegas, but it's for the way that he always seems to blast small teams and lap cars for just being out there doing what they're doing, right? So at the end of the day, you know, at Bristol, lap car, you know, he was the lap car doing some of the same ish that some of these lap cars do, right? You went 2 laps down, you raced the leaders back to get 1 lap back. Wasn't like you were going to be the first guy a lap down. It's Bristol. They're getting ready to pass like 5 guys before you even have a chance, right? So you're going to be the last car 1 lap down, wash up in front of the leaders, cause the leaders to kind of back up, and then cause all the drama in between Chase Elliott. If you watch the show, I went into it. Now this week you turn around, having a great run, and I'm not really going to quote what he said on the radio, but he did say some very derogatory things about Rick Ware. And, you know, this is a guy, very underfunded team, no major sponsors for the most part, goes out just trying to make a living. He's a lap car, right? Had issues going around him. Guess he went to the outside. Rick Ware washed up a little bit, forced him into the fence. Now, here's my issue. You're the self-proclaimed KFB, the best driver NASCAR seen in the last 20-plus years, the greatest all time, 200-plus wins, and you can't even go around a damn lap car without bitching, man. I'm telling you, I am so over it, man. I am so over the attitude, the nerve that you got to say some things, the nerve that you got to do some things. I'm telling you right now, man, if I was Rick Ware, and I'm just going to put it out there, Rick Ware, I hope you find the show when you're watching it. If I was you, and the man said about me what he said about you on the radio, I'm going to go and slap straight M&Ms out of Kyle Busch's ass. I promise you that. That's going to happen, man. One of 2 things. Either he needs to learn to be humble or he is eventually going to get humbled. And I really hope it's the later before the sooner, man. And like I said earlier, the man can really take some notes from his brother. The great things that the man's doing for the NASCAR community, breast cancer awareness, putting himself out there for the sponsors, has done a full 180 from the time that he came into the sport till his later years in it, man. So, hey, like I said, you need to take some notes from your older brother, man. You need to sit him down here coming up, Christmas, Thanksgiving dinner, get him ready for next season, man. You can't keep this nonsense. That's right, man. Can't keep this going on with you know, with all the kids and the M&M sponsor, man. So there again, you know it, man. You get out of here, man. I don't even like you, man. So there again, hey, got to give a shout out to my main man, my biggest sponsor right here on Rubbin' and Grubbin', Mr. Parker Echols, man, over there at Arbor Man Tree Service. Thank you, brother, for everything you do for the crew up here and Coach's Corner, man. Hey, as I tell you guys all the time, going to be a little scroll on the bottom of the screen. You'll see Arbor Man Tree Service pop up, Parker Echols' number there. Make sure you give him a call. We're getting into some gnarly stuff here in hurricane season. Got a little bit longer to go, but, man, it's heating up out there. So there again, like I said, if you're unsure of what you need done, some limbs being trimmed back, whatever, Parker will gladly come out, give you an estimate, say, hey, this is good, might want to think about this. Doesn't matter all the time. Stump grinding, tree removal, anything and everything, man. As I say all the time, no job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Make sure you give Parker a call over there at Arbor Man Tree Services, man. Love you, brother. So, pausing again for station identification here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. We're going to get right along into it, man. Cheers to everybody out there. All right, moving right into that Las Vegas recap, man. I'm going to tell you like this. Compared to the truck and the Xfinity Series, we had somewhat of a boring race in a way, right? Not much action-packed as far as cautions go, but I tell you what, at the end of the day, that's kind of what you learn to expect at 1.5 miles in NASCAR. Maybe a late caution here and there, but at the end of the day, great racing, great turnout for that race, so can't be upset. As I said earlier, Denny Hamlin comes home with that victory, continues his playoff run and dominance in a way. Can it be a championship year for Denny Hamlin? We have seen this happen how many years with Hamlin, right? We kind of call it the Mark Martin syndrome in a way, right? Like, at the end of the day, we all know Mark Martin was such a great race car driver, one of the best Xfinity Busch Series drivers ever, one of the best NASCAR drivers ever, a lot of wins, but never quite got that championship locked down. Never got it. Denny Hamlin, same thing. This past weekend, that was 46 career wins, man. That's a lot of wins. There's a lot of guys. I'm going to say a name, and it might make some people mad. Dale Earnhardt Jr. only got like 23, 24 wins and getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. There again, blows my mind. I don't know how. Never won a championship. Got Earnhardt as the last name. I think he's a great race car driver. Do I think he's Hall of Fame worthy? No, I don't. You guys can be mad at me all you want out there, but I'm just telling you, no, I don't. We induct all these guys way too quick. We're running out of folks, man. As I said, for about the last 2 years, NASCAR really needs to wait to elect folks maybe once every 3, 4, 5 years at this point, because we are down to the nitty-gritty, man, where everybody's inducted into the Hall of Fame unless we're going to start inducting guys that are still racing, which I don't think that's right either. So got to get that figured out. But we'll see if he can go on and get this championship, man. That's the one thing that career is lacking. You know, it sets a bar. It sets from here to here. See if he can go get it this year, man. Kyle Larson started from the pole, took off like a rocket, as I said, leading a lot of that first stage, if not the whole thing. Wrong pit strategy, missing pit road, kind of cost him a really better finish than what he got, but fought back, finished 10th, man. You can't be mad with a 10th place finish in the playoffs. So I think he'll rebound, come back strong here at Dega, probably come back even stronger there at the Roval. So we just got to keep an eye out, man. As I said, my main man, Chase Elliott, came up just a little bit short right there, finished second behind Denny Hamlin, was running them down, man. Man, I wish he just... couple things would have went different, maybe some lap traffic, maybe a caution, who knows, man. But at the end of the day, like I said, 9 fans hold that head high. Wins are coming, man. I'm telling you, we're going to at least get one more this season, if not 2. And ultimately, the best thing is just to win the one that matters, make the 4 and win Phoenix, man. That's all I'm looking forward to. So Hendrick Motorsports at one point, we're all inside the top 5, man. And then, like I said, didn't end that way. We had 2 that had top 10 finishes and 2 that finished outside of that, man. William Byron got a flat tire there late. Cost him a little bit. I don't remember what happened with Bowman exactly, but they're again fighting back from 1, the strategy, 2, bad things in the pits, man. So we got to clean it up. Can't have those mistakes, especially outside of the round of 12. It's tough enough in 12. We get to 8. You do one of those mistakes, you're pretty much out, man. So just have to see how it goes, man. But there again, wrapping up there at Vegas. Moving right along into Talladega, man. The monster known as Talladega. So many factors outside of one driver's hands. Man, one mistake can ruin a lot of guys' days. If you have a wreck up front or mid-pack, takes out a lot of good cars out of their control in some sense, man. But at the same time, with that being said, it's one of my favorite places because you see a lot of these smaller teams and underfunded teams play the strategy right and play the race right and end up coming home with a lot of good finishes, a lot of big paydays for them. So like I say, it's always a wild card, as we all know. Anybody can go out and lock that win down there at Talladega. Got to wait till Sunday to find out what happens, but I tell you what, it's going to be an awesome race no matter what. So you can guarantee a lot of drivers are going to have those rabbit feet and lucky underwear on as they come into Sunday at Talladega, and let's just hope that's enough to come out with that victory or at least a good place finish, man. So there again, fast fun, never seems to disappoint. At the end of that race, you can guarantee everybody's going to be standing up waiting to see that finish because 9 times out of 10, they are extremely close. They are extremely caution-filled once we get in the last 20 laps. So, man, what an exciting race. I hate it as a race fan. Don't necessarily like that style of racing, but it does promote some really good historic finishes and really crazy finishes, and that's kind of what we all wait for. So there again, got to see what they do, and Sunday's not that far away, man. So Bad Brad Keselowski came home with the win there in the spring. As I recall, that was a pretty action-packed there race towards the very end, and he was pretty much some of the best equipment they were running. Came out, did it, man. Is it going to be his turn to lock down that win and move into the round of 12? Who knows? I had him outside of this round. I had him missing the round of 8. We just got to wait and see, man. He's 8th right now on the ahead of William Byron by 4 points. One bad mistake here can put him into a must-win at the Roval, which I really think he doesn't want, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, man. Denny Hamlin starting from the pole, not a bad place there at Talladega. If 2 things. 1, you can manage the lead. 2, you can stop the blocks without getting spun around, man. So we'll have to see how long the 11 tries to stay up front or whether that strategy puts him more towards the rear. But I tell you what, the restrictor plate racing that we saw there at Daytona was amazing. I expect it to be amazing there again with the changes NASCAR made at Talladega. It's getting ready to get wild. Just got to see who's going to be able to maintain those runs and jockey for position up front and block all that. But not a bad place to start up front first, man. Got a teammate starting beside you, so got to see. They'll probably fall in line and roll, but we got to see what they do, man. So you got stage 1's going to end on lap 60. Moving right into stage 2, that's 100 lap 120, so basically 60 laps apiece. Then we move right into that final stage. It ends at 288. So you have a very, very, very long run right there. You're going to see a couple green flag pit stops under, barring cautions. We'll have to see how all that plays out. But a lot of laps there at Talladega for that final stage, and a lot of stuff happens, man. So moving right into my top 5, I tell you what, man, I'm going to take a guy that everybody's kind of been really quiet about right here on the playoffs, right? Not talking too much about him, not really having really good runs, not really having really bad runs, just kind of being quietly consistent there again. That's 12-car Ryan Blaney. I think when you look at all of the young guys that are in the sport right now, Ryan Blaney pretty much has restrictor plate racing or super speedway racing, if you want to call it, figured out the best. This guy is, if he's not up there contending for that win, he's pushing somebody to that win. So I take him first on my list, man. I'm just going to tell you right now, 12-car first, number 1 right here. I said it, man. Number 2 for me, another guy I think that's got great skills. His father did there at those, hold speed records at a couple restrictor plate racing. That's going to be the 9 of little Bill Elliott, man. Chase Elliott right there killing it. I take him 9, man. The man's going to do what his dad did. The man's going to do what he does. He's going out and getting a win, man. I don't know if it's going to be at Talladega or at the Roval, but in these next 2 races, Chase Elliott's going to get a win. Mark it down, man. If not, I'll chug a whole beer. I'll funnel a beer on rubbing and grubbing, all right? Third for me, we just mentioned the man, Bad Brad Keselowski. Probably the best restrictor plate racer there at Talladega. I would say arguably him and Hamlin can go back and forth about who's better where. Hamlin seems to have Daytona figure out. Keselowski seems to have Talladega figure out. But I tell you what, you got to put him in the top 3. If you don't, you're sleeping, man. So I feel like if he misses this right here and does not have a really good finish, the Roval's going to be really hard to rebound from. So I think it's very important if you can't get that win, that he needs to get a very solid finish, if not finish higher than the rest of these playoff guys, because this field is going to swap around after this race. Mark my words. 4 for me, as I said, we just talked about him. That's going to be the 11 of Denny Hamlin. I mean, there again, restrictor plate racing, keeping the nose clean, has a knack to figure out how to be there at the end, especially at Daytona. We'll see if he can figure it out there at Talladega and put himself there for at least contending for a win at the very end as well, coming up on Sunday, man. 5 for me, last but not least, I'm leaving quite a few other big-name guys out there, 18, 19, I'm leaving all kinds of guys out there. But I look for William Byron, William the Kid Byron right here to have a great run at Talladega. I feel like that kid is very good. I think it pays dividends in the simulation racing and a lot of stuff that he has done and continues to do. I think it gives him patience. I think it gives him visibility that some of these guys miss out on, seeing these runs, how they're built, where we're moving. Look out for William the Kid Byron to round it out right there, having another good run to Talladega, man. Dark horses, not really going to be too dark right here. I mean, there again, it's got some really good, horsepower under the hood. That's going to be the 21 of Matt Benedetto. You know the affiliation with Penske does not hurt at all. Going to bring that forward horsepower. Those guys are going to be running together, as we know, over the last few years. Manufacturers seem to get together. If it's not throughout the race, it's definitely for pit road. So at some point in time, you're going to see the 21 and all these Penske's and Fords linked up together. So I expect him to have a really good run. Now, the second one for me, He's going to be a guy who kind of got quiet this last quarter of the season. I feel like for what they had, the equipment and the way that being a single car team as they are over there at Trackhouse, it's going to be the 99 of Daniel Suarez, man. Started out the season really hot. I saw a lot of momentum, a lot more momentum than what I thought was ever going to come out of a single car team there at Trackhouse. And they've had really good runs, man. I mean, led a lot of laps right there at the dirt race at Bristol. Had a lot of other really good runs. So I expect them there again to bring that horsepower, to have a really good run if they can keep their nose clean, manage the race well, keep Daniel Suarez out of some of these accidents, barring anything being somebody else or his own fault. Probably come home with a really good run, man. So that's going to round it out for those dark horses, man. That does it for the rubbing part. We're moving right on into the grubbing part. And, man, I got a hidden gem here at Coach's Corner. I tell you what, this is one of the best things on this menu. There again, Sports Bar. Man, they do a vast variety of different kinds of food. So this is one of my favorite things to grub out on, as always, man. That's going to be the Stromboli. Dude, I am telling you right now, this thing is packed up delicious. Marinara to dip it in. They got you hooked up. It originally, you know, it's sausage and pepperoni and onions and peppers and cheese and cheese and cheese, man. Now, here at Coach's, there again, you can deuce it up any way you want, juice it up, whatever it may be, man. But I'm telling you right now, if you've never had the Stromboli from Coach's Corner, highly recommend it. We're going to cut this up and have a couple slices before I get out of here tonight. You can guarantee that, man. So there again, want to give a big shout out to my man PJ Zuko over there at 104.3 ESPN Coastal. I tell you, we do a show there every single Sunday. You can catch PJ and myself, Green, White, Checker, 9 to 9:30, getting you caught up on everything that's happened from Wednesday to Sunday. A little bit of a different vibe, not quite as loose, but I tell you what, man, it is such a great time, very informative, definitely getting you pre-gamed up for that race coming later in the afternoons on Sunday. If you hadn't had a chance yet, make sure you go and check that out. Again, that's 104.3 ESPN Coastal. You can catch it on the radio. You can catch it on their ESPN Coastal Facebook live feed. I'm telling you, what a great show. PJ, thanks for everything you do for us out there, brother. You put a lot more time than I do into it, man, but it is greatly appreciated, man. There again, big shout out to everybody up here at Coach's Corner, man. Coach Carl DeMasi and that DeMasi Sports Report. Absolutely love it if you hadn't seen it. There again, who's on first base? Kyle Lawson, breaking everything down baseball. Coach does such a great job. We all know he's caught up doing his coaching thing as always. I'm sure when he has time, he's going to be right back here to the home. Right here, Coach's Corner, Sports Network, Thunderbolt, Georgia, man. Big shout out to the guys over there at Hot Grits. I actually caught the podcast this week. Absolutely amazing show by those guys, man. Broke down that Georgia game. Absolutely love Travis and Spencer. Always keeping you up to date, everything local and new in sports. And will even tell you about their Saturday night from time to time and things they got going on. I didn't even see the candy man himself, Kyle Busch, and his brother, Brett Herb up here. I didn't see neither one of them boys tonight. But I tell you what, eventually we're going to get them back in here before next golf season doing this 19th hole. We're going to get a little piece going, giving you a recap of the weekend and picks on Sunday who's going to go out and win. Got to get these boys tightened up in here, man. I don't know what they're doing. I think Kyle Busch been eating too many damn M&Ms. That damn fire suit's on too damn tight for him. I don't know what it is, man. Maybe he just couldn't get out of it tonight and was embarrassed to wear it here. I don't really know. Rick Ware made him poop his pants. I really don't know what the hell happened. But at the end of the day, anyways, they'll probably be up next week. So, like I said all the time, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Thank you for all the support you show up here at Coach's Corner. Like I say all the time, greatest local sports bar there is in Savannah, man. Great food, great times, great fun. Right here at Thunderbolt, Georgia, the center of the universe, Coach's Corner. Hope everybody out there had a great Sunday day. Looking forward to this race, getting ready to get primed up. As I say, man, till we get back to 100 and this country is whole again, man, with this vaccination stuff and this pandemic nonsense we're continuing to go through. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them, hug them, kiss them. Hey, and as always, I'm bringing the spray bottle back. Mask up and wash your hands, y'all. Love you. Till next week.